All right, everyone. This is Patrick Morrison from the Wolfpack Astrobiology podcast. And this is the first episode of The Den, where we all get together and discuss topics related to astronomy. And today we're going to be talking about the UFO phenomenon. So I'll introduce myself. As I said, my name is Patrick Morrison. I studied microbiology at Monash University, and for my master's degree, I studied a lot of astrobiology related topics. So would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I got it. I'm Mitch. I did my undergrad at Purdue in aerospace engineering and did my master's, and I'm in progress getting my PhD at the University of Colorado Boulder, also in aerospace engineering. My specialty is in situ resource utilization, so how to leverage mass streams wherever you're at with human spaceflight missions. So particularly extracting metals from lunar regoliths, so we can build bases and manufacture replaceable parts while we're up there. Nice. And this is Jimmy Negus. My background's in astrophysics from University of Chicago and CU Boulder, where I got my PhD. My research has been on studying active supermassive black holes, but now I'm focused on studying the sun. And so I work on the GOES satellite program, which is a part of NOAA's mission to observe the Earth as well as the sun. And so I help calibrate and validate data related to the sun.
Hi, my name is Richard Archer, and I completed my master's in planetary science at the University of Colorado Boulder. I have an relevant undergraduate in biology. I've been interested in astrobiology for a very long time. My specialty is in terms of Mars habitability. They recently published a paper in Icarus looking at the crater and valley network data distribution on Mars from the lock-in, which indicates that it was a quite habitable planet when the Earth was still being actively bombarded. So I'm very excited to be here with my buddy joining me today.
All right. So first question, do you guys think we've ever been visited by extraterrestrials?
Well, I think, my science brain would say I need more evidence. And so, before I can say we have or have not, I think we have to analyze the evidence. And if the evidence isn't there, then I'm hesitant to claim definitively that we've, been visited.
Yeah, it's kind of like the orbiting teapot. It's like you can't prove it's not there, but I have no reason to think it is there in the first place.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Anyway, I don't really know how advanced civilizations even develop, right? We have these ideas. I've heard this theory that there's like a series of bottlenecks, right? So whether that's sexual reproduction might be a bottleneck that species don't make it through, and then they just end up dying off, or perhaps the development of like a centralized nervous system might be another bottleneck, right? But then there may be bottlenecks in more advanced civilization space, like you get fission bombs and fusion bombs, and has anybody ever made it through those? And we don't even know for us, right? And you just find any kind of law. But it's difficult to say. Like I'm pretty convinced, given the size of the universe and the ingredients for life, that it's out there. I don't know if it could get here.
So hi, this is Richard. So in terms of business of extraterrestrials, I default back towards the idea of a biogeochemist. And from that perspective, then I would say yes, in terms of probably early microbial life. The earliest solar system was an extremely dynamic environment with a lot of impacts. And we know there's been quite a bit of material exchange between planetary bodies as well as planets migrating through the solar system, which was much denser in terms of potential biogeochemical precursors to life. Recent work on the International Space Station has also shown that bacteria and archaea from Earth, which on Earth are not anything particularly extreme, such as E. coli, can actually exist in the vacuum space for a protracted amount of time and still be viable. Although they undergo a lot of genetic modification, they still can be viable in cultures after months to several years exposed to the vacuum space on the exterior of the ISS. So from a microbial perspective, I think panspermia is a very likely proposition. I also think that Mars, because of the lower gravitational potential well, preferentially transferred material to early Earth approximately 4 billion years ago during the end of the late Human bombardment, which also, that's a topic for another day, but likely a data artifact. But at the end of the bombardment by larger bodies, you can sure you can have microbes material transfer within our solar system. In addition, recent research regarding small bodies suggests that our sun is actually a portion of a smaller cluster which formed together in approximately the same amount of time. And we know that Oort clouds kind of rub up against other Oort clouds. You're able to actually transfer cosmological material between solar systems. We know for a fact that Oumuamua has gone through our solar system as a very dynamic body. To this day, it's still not determined what it is. I don't buy the hypothesis of a hydrogen iceberg, which some people propose. For those that don't know, it's a body that came from outside the solar system with an axis ratio of 10 to 1, which is outstandingly odd. Usually it's only 4 to 1 for an asteroid. It didn't show any sort of aspects of a comet, and then its exit trajectory was on a hyperbolic orbit, showed an increase in velocity passed by the sun. So a proponent of this we hear about in the news right now is proposing that it was a solar sail. So it used mathematical models, but in fact, of course, there was no direct observation. It was just a reconstruction by light curves, suggesting that this body Oumuamua was at rest with respect to the background stars and then accelerated out of our solar system. So the big proposition coming out of Harvard right now by Avi Loeb is that it was in fact an extraterrestrial probe. I have no way to discount that, although I did read the paper with the map for the curve fit best for a multi-kilometer solar sail that was only a few microns across. But that's a mathematical model, and the person can actually adjust mathematical models to sort of fit whatever scenario you might want, I think, to some extent. So that needs to be constrained. I don't think I agree with my colleagues, my friends here. I think mathematically it's absurd to think that in the vast universe that we're the sole intellectual species out there. I also agree with Mitch about the bottleneck events. We know that happens on Earth quite a bit. There's no reason that wouldn't happen on a grander scale. But being scientists, we're the show us the money kind of people.
Yeah.
We don't see it and we can't verify that. But mathematically, there's not really a way to discount it. That's what I would tell you. Not at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like proving a negative. It's like, how can you?
Have we back propagated the trajectory of our solar system to see if we might have made contact with another solar system's Oort cloud, Rich, that you know of? Or can you do that with them all?
Yeah, they've done it to some extent. You know, obviously the stars are in constant motion around the galactic plane, and I know that Jimmy could give a lot better evolved discussion about this, but we also oscillate up and down, and we're dynamic in our orbit. And so the stars come in proximity to their Oort clouds, but they don't typically collide. Isn't that right, Jimmy? There's not really that much of a risk of collision, but the interstellar material itself should exchange to the Oort cloud.
I mean, yeah, that's factual. You know, for me, I just want to sort of take a step back, though, and consider what the appeal is, right? Like, so let's say there is, you know, an alien civilization visiting us. What do you think our society's appeal? Is it the unknown? Do you think that there's a threat? I guess I want to, you know, we get so lost in, you know, is it real or not? Is it possible or not? But I want to explore, like, what it would mean for us as a civilization.
Well, like, why do we feel the need to explore, like, Stone Age cultures that still exist today?
Or even consider the vastness of the deep ocean, which seems infinite in depths, and the species look like aliens, right? There's so much unexplored Earth still below our feet. You know, why don't we have that similar fascination below us. And so I guess from a societal context, what do you guys think is like the root of our curiosity here?
Could I pitch this idea over to Mitch?
Yeah.
Mitch, you mentioned you want to talk about. Can you talk about cislunar space as defensible space? And then I'll piggyback on that.
Yeah, I want to address Jimmy's question first, and then I can talk about that. I think that to me, Jim, it seems like, every human being struggles against a feeling of existential loneliness, right? Like, we contain multitudes, and we can't even really know ourselves, right? So we feel isolated from other people in this way, and even alienated from ourselves. And I think the idea that you might make contact, that we're not alone, the way that we feel that we are, that the way that we really are, right? And our own consciousnesses are part of ourselves, unless you're on some psychedelic and that abates for a moment. But I mean, from day to day, right, we're all burdened with that. So I think it's probably people trying to slap a bandage on that. I thought about it a little, like, why? Because, like you say, the oceans are really cool. There's a lot to explore, but we're fairly certain there's nothing brilliant down there that we can have.
Well, how do you define brilliance? Like for
Sapience?
Mars, our conquest is to find any little shred of life. Like we're obsessed with finding life, and I guess trying to understand the nature of this quest to find that extraterrestrial life, and when we do find it, right, if it's inevitable and our species lives long enough, what do we do with that in our hand? Let's say tomorrow we confirm the presence of aliens, right?